Awesome. So I'm going to start off by introducing my good friends and colleagues over here, Josh and Bjorn with Essential Engine. We're going to talk a little bit today about why it is so critical to have relationship marketing be a key component to helping you grow your practice. Because let's face it, we are all in a relationship business. And if you can strengthen your connection, not just with your members, but both halves of the household, their friends, their colleagues, your spheres to help you grow your practice, I promise you will separate yourself from all the competition. And more importantly, we will help you grow your practice. So with that being said, Bjorn, if you'd like to introduce yourself, jump in.
Sure. My name is Bjorn. You can pronounce my last name as Piltingsrud. Just like it's spelled. Don't make it any more complicated than it has to be. I'm the VP of Strategy and Business Development at Essential Engine, and been with the company for, this is my second tour of duty, so I think a grand total of about 20 years. And I'm really excited to just push what we call real personal connections. That's what we're here for. We're a business that promotes real personal connections, and all of our services are really designed to help people in the field make connections with their clients and their prospects on a personal basis.
Josh.
And I'm Josh Kimball. I'm VP of Marketing at Essential Engine. I've been here for about 13 years. I'm also excited to talk about the real personal connections, make some real personal connections with you guys, and connect with your audience as well. Make sure that they understand the value of the stuff we put together and see how it can help them.
One thing, Andrew, that's going to be great about this show is that one of the things that we I think we all learned a little something in the pandemic about relationships, right? Sometimes you can't get where you need to get, and as much as that was a necessary evil, and I call it evil because it was. I think we allowed a lot of that to be, more than what it should have been. But I think we learned to pivot, right? I'm big on pivoting. When I talk to the Medicare agents, they say, "What does Leah mean about pivot?" Well, I try to teach them to pivot out of one market into another to where they can, make more money and do good different things. You guys had to learn to pivot a little bit during that time period as well. Bjorn, can you talk a little bit about how that changed your business and what you guys are doing now that's a little different? And Andrew, I know they already heard you, but I'm gonna let him share a little, and then I'll let you come back in and everybody kind of touch on that real quickly.
Sure. So one of the things that happened during the pandemic, obviously everyone went to do Zoom calls, and no one was meeting in person in it, and people lost personal connections, right? You just became a face on a screen, a voice on a phone. And so one of the things that our clients were asking us for is, hey, can you help me make sure that people don't forget who I am? Like at the end of the day, that's a big fear, because you may not be talking to people, have a reason to be talking with people on a monthly basis necessarily, depending on the business. And so when we were working with our financial advisors or with our real estate agents, they really came to us and said, hey, can you help me stay relevant with my client base, with my prospects? And so we pivoted from just doing what we had traditionally done, which was our 5-star wealth management award or a 5-star real estate agent award. And we pivoted to coming up with products and services that allowed our clients to make those personal connections that were not just about industry, but about lifestyle. So things that you would say in a potentially, like I'm in Colorado this week with my family for Thanksgiving. So I might send something out not about financial advisory or Medicare. I might send something out to my client base and my prospects about what it's like to have Thanksgiving away from home, because that's going to help them understand me as a person, that who I'm spending the holiday with. And then they might say, hey, I've done that too, or they have another reason to call me that may not be explicitly about the product or services that I offer.
Well, that's where ABCs became important. Andrew will tell you, when I talk to agents, I tell them ABC. What's ABC? Always be closing, right? And one of the things that I tell people is that, with what I learned, is that, you can be Elf the agent, or you can be the professional. Now, the Elf the agent is going to say, what's your favorite color? And you might get 100 people, blue, red, purple, black. Didn't make me a dime. How many people is the professional agent going to get if he says, if you have a 401k at a former employer, put yes or no in the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's the same thing about connections, depending on where you're at with the magazine. If you're an agent, two things happened that I saw, and it was transition became an opportunity because you had to change things, or you became real lazy, right? and some of that hasn't changed for some, right? And I think that's a problem. But Andrew, let's let Josh touch on a little bit about the pandemic as well. Kind of add to what Bjorn said, because Josh, you're 13 years. My goodness.
13 years feels like 26. Honestly, I've lost.
My wife had a 14th anniversary. She said we celebrated 50 because that's what it feels like.
I had a full head of hair when I started.
There you go.
So the thing that I do think it's important to add from what Bjorn's talking about. So he alluded to our research business, the 5-Star Professional Award. So we spent 22 years looking at high performers in all of these industries and recognizing them for their work, recognizing them for connecting with clients. And so when we went to put these products together, we learned from the best. We learned from these people who had been doing it well, we had been recognizing and who had been asking for stuff. So it's not like we're just like coming up with these things. Like we spent 22 years researching the best professionals in these categories, listening to what they needed, listening to how best they connected with clients, and then putting services together to help them do exactly that.
Okay. And Andrew, I'm gonna give you a question. You can follow up on this one, and then I'm gonna get you right into the next one because I know you have some slides. And one of the questions I want you to touch on today is not only is this a relationship business, but why is it important? But touch on a little bit about what they said, and then roll right into your slides and why relationships are important.
Thanks, Bill. I really appreciate it. So I'll hit you with some statistics. I'm a big statistical guy. So I do think it is important that agents today really do have to understand that there was a recent study done that why did you as a member leave your agent? Why did you as a client leave your agent? And 64% of the time, the answer was because they were not receiving meaningful communication with their agent. So just to drill down on that, Bill, I know you'd agree with me. Listen, is meaningful communication getting a postcard? Is meaningful communication getting a billing statement? I would argue the fact that is not meaningful communication. I would argue meaningful communication should be centered around what we'll call the Ford method, right? And if you're an agent, you're hearing this for the first time, just write down Ford, F-O-R-D. So Ford stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So if you think about it, if we connect, like Bjorn was talking about, with the family on a vacation and a ski trip out there in beautiful Colorado, or with Liam, where he's literally handing out hundreds of turkeys to families for Thanksgiving, man, you are connecting with folks in a whole different level than what everybody else does. And that's what will not only carry the day to help you strengthen the relationship to both halves of the household, the next generation, friends, family members, all that good stuff, which is really the cornerstone of any successful practice. But even going beyond that, you're going to separate yourself from the competition. And let's face it, right now in this industry, this is a major time that you want to be able to separate yourself from all the AI and all the agents that are not going that extra step in the relationship to strengthen it, to not only help you retain the business, right? We all want to retain the business that we work so hard for, but then literally turn that client into a raving fan for your business to tell all their friends, all their family, hey, if you're looking to work with somebody, Liam is the best in the world, even goes out of his way to donate hundreds of toys to children, turkeys for families in need. Man, that is the stuff that really and truly does separate you from everybody else. And why would they ever work with another agent, frankly?
But Andrew, I want to touch on that because somebody asked me the other day, do you do that for business? I said, I don't care if I make business or not. I do it because I'm called to do it. But also, it brings business in, but I don't do it for that. That's not the purpose behind it, right? But I'm a big Elon Musk fan, not politically wise, but he said you don't need to go to college, just Google. So I was listening to your talk, so I Googled this. A majority of people prefer humans over AI. 90%. I told people our firm, as everybody else is changing, I'm staying the same. I'm going to be continuing to do this. I'm not having AI do it. Again, we might look a little bit better, a little more, all that good stuff. I get it, right? But people still want this. And I'm not going away from that. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was thinking, maybe it's going to change. But people, and I tell people, well, how do you know you're not AI? I say, because look, I've got all my fingers. But anyway.
That's fantastic.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to give you another. You're doing some stats. I just wanted to get some while we were rolling. So anyway, let me get your thing on here for you. And there we go.
So let's get into it, right? This is the most exciting time, in my opinion, and really the world's opinion, to be a Medicare agent, to be a long-term care agent, to be an insurance agent in this particular moment in time with the silver tsunami occurring. What an amazing opportunity for you to, again, connect at a relationship level to drive your practice. Again, some of the statistics on this stuff is just wild. 80 to $100 trillion going from the baby boomer generation to the X generation. 12,000 people every single day in the United States turning 65. A third of the population between here and the year 2030, all retiring. So when you think about what an amazing time to start connecting with these folks, I will tell you it is incredible. And of course, I'm running into technical difficulty. All right, there we go. Look at that, man. I have conquered technology. So we all understand the value of a lifetime client that you met through a relationship versus somebody that you paid for a lead. Bill, I don't know about you. You tell me. Would you rather work with somebody that was referred to you or somebody that was a cold lead that you acquired from some lead source? What's better?
Well, to me, a warm lead is the best lead, right? To me, it is. I mean, and a lot of times, the other thing I like is that, people don't understand that's still, I don't think it's that hard to get sometimes, right? But that I like warm leads over leads I got to really try to go find, right?
Amen. And I would also agree with you on the other part of that equation is, listen, if you can connect, and more importantly, I'll give you the old Zig Ziglar, right? If you're going to work with somebody, you got to like them, you got to know them, you got to trust them. So again, if you want to write that one down, Zig Ziglar, of course, one of the all-time greats, says, how do you make somebody your client? You got to be liked, known, and trusted. So again, if you can connect with a client and be liked, known, and trusted first, and we'll give you the perfect strategy to be able to do that, I promise they will become your client. And just to piggyback on what Bill said, obviously it makes a lot more sense if you meet somebody through a referral as opposed to going out and acquiring a lead. So again, we talked a lot about the fact that it is critical today to have that personal connection. The 92% that you see up there is an interesting number because we all have a good friend by the name of Cody Askins. Cody Askins runs an organization called 8% Nation. It's a different statistic completely, but I'm going to tie it in. How has Cody been so successful, and what is the 8% Nation? The 8% Nation is 92% of agents in their first 3 years don't make it in this business. So we know it's a great business. We know there's incredible opportunities for you to grow the business, but why is it that only 8% make it through the first 3 years? Well, I promise you, a big part of that comes from your ability to generate referrals from your existing base, client base, prospect base, be liked, known, and trusted. And that's what will help you make it into that rare air, right? That 8% that does make it past the first 3 years. So if you're a new agent, I'm not telling you this stuff to worry you. I'm just telling you, hey, listen, you got to do some of this stuff we're talking about today, connecting with your clients at a relationship level to help you grow your practice. If you're an existing successful agent, you got to do something to stay connected with your members that other agents aren't doing to, again, separate you. And the way we do it is very unique. We have an incredible set of tools. I'll start with the first magazine that is the nearest and dearest to my heart, which is Retiring Well, which again is centered on all the things that people are going to be looking for and, more importantly, excited to see in their mailbox to help them in their retirement. Our Essential Living tool is an amazing magazine. Again, it's the flagship there in the series, and it is great with general interest. And for those of you that, again, like to travel and have some unique experiences, Escape Experiences is great. Let me just share this with you. All of these tools cost less than the cost of a Hallmark card. So, Bill, you and I both know with the holidays right around the corner, if we go to Walmart, what are we going to spend on a beautiful Hallmark card for our friends and family?
Well, you know, 99 cents to $5 maybe.
I would say higher. You haven't been in. I know you went and got yourself a whole bunch of turkeys, but if you would walk through the gift center, I promise you're not going to find a decent, high quality Hallmark card.
If you're talking the ones that are really nice where they've actually got words in it, you're talking maybe $9 to $15. I like to put my own words in it.
That's right. That's right. You got it, my friend. So again, today, let's focus on the fact that you've got to be everywhere, omnipresent. There's a great study that was done by Hobbs and Herder. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about this study, but it was pretty interesting. The study really centered on the fact they went to 500 households, knocked on the door, said, who's the number one agent here in this neighborhood? Big surprise, 500 different names popped out, maybe the same agent a couple of times, but really 500 different people. Then they did a 7x7 campaign, which is exactly what we're talking about. Beautiful, glossy, hardstock magazine sitting right there on the coffee table. Again, consistent communication through social media, sending a text, making a telephone call. They went back into that exact same neighborhood. 30 days later, the shocking statistic was over 80% of the people said this agent that did not even exist, just a completely made up person behind the scenes of a 7x7 campaign, was ranked the number one agent in that community. So again, to be omnipresent, and again, we have the tools to help you do that.
Well, Andrew, let me touch on that with it's perception, right? I always do all of my ad on radio during the same time Hannity's on. That's a little bit pricey, but everybody thinks I've been on Hannity's show. It's all perception, right? And so that's what you're going. You're going to where that again, if somebody sees my book, right? If somebody sees your magazine, you walk in, there's nothing more disturbing when you go into the doctor and your competitor's magazine that you could have done is sitting there on the same table that yours should be on, right? Yeah. So perception leads to my viewpoint, perception will lead to not only opportunity but a lot more commissions. Yes.
Yeah, Bill, I'm gonna give you a little credit here too. You're one of the best speakers I've ever seen in my life. When you get on a stage, you command the stage. You bring so much authority to it. And here's what's amazing. I know a lot of agents today are trying to get on more stages, try to be more of an authority in their area. Imagine this: if you were going to give a seminar and your handout was your own face on the cover of your own magazine, sitting on the chair, so they see that first of all they're coming to your event. Second of all, they now recognize you as somebody that is an authority in the area with their own magazine. So again, that credibility that you talked about. You give an amazing presentation, and then after, what are they going to take home? Are they going to take home a little pamphlet that maybe gives a couple ideas about what was discussed? Or are they going to take home this beautiful magazine, bring it to their coffee table, and every time they reach down for their remote, they're looking back at you, Bill, and they're saying to themselves, man, that guy was incredible. We got to go ahead and set that appointment with Bill. He obviously knows what he's talking about. So like you said, It doesn't matter who you
Andrew,
are.
we put that into practice. Remember, when we first got together, I said, Andrew, I said, I don't have a problem telling my agents, and we train quite a few of them, 10,000 of them will be watching this. And I said, Andrew, when we do your thing, make sure that that we're doing the advertisement with my magazine, with my picture on it, right? Because, when we started doing that, because I can't sit there and say, do it, and I'm not doing it. Right. Every single agent that I work with knows that I will not turn them on to anything that I haven't used myself. Now, there's some things I don't like, and I tell them, hey, I worked with Lunchbox or this company, and I didn't have a good experience. But, hey, this one I did or whatever. They respect that because of my 35 years in the business, right? And when I do the stage stuff, one of the reasons why, like I said, I tell people that, as well as I do, Andrew, I don't speak. I'm a performer. Right. And when I get on stage, I don't come on with music. I got Tommy Boy videos. I've got, all kinds of people are laughing at me. I don't have to do anything when I get on stage. I've already got everybody happy and excited. Right. I told somebody the other day that, what's wrong, with being happy every day? Well, there's so much anger and hate in the world. Be happy every once in a while, And so, it's so funny when I met Bjorn and those guys, like, this guy's got so much energy, some of you know, some of you don't know. I don't know what tomorrow brings for me. And you guys know I've got frontal lobe dementia. And I live every day to its fullest because I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And I didn't realize how important that meant. That means a lot to you, Andrew, now than it did before, right? Because you're working on getting to the 200 club, right? And I know Josh is working on the hair club, and I know Bjorn's doing his thing, and it's all about. And I'm teasing Josh, but it's all about doing stuff for today. And I think that what I'm trying to get to is that if I didn't have my picture on your stuff, and I'm selling, and I'm trying to help you. People are, you don't even have the magazine. You don't even have, you're not, so how effective is that if I'm doing the things I'm telling you to do? Yes?
100%. And I'm just going to wrap up our little slide deck here with just a couple quick things. So first and foremost, Bill, you know better than anybody. I'm a student of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins always says you got to do something irresistible to have people take action. So we're going to wrap this up with a couple things. First and foremost, I want you guys to take action today. I want to be a big part. We want to be a big part of your success moving forward. Please scan the QR code that you see on the screen right here. We'd love to get you a sample. We'd love to, again, show you first and foremost why this is such an effective tool, why we have so many effective tools to help you move the needle on your practice. But it starts here. Scan the QR code that everybody sees right now on your screen. If you'd like, you can call me directly on my cell, which you see there, my office line. Again, I know everybody's dying to get to the exciting part about how much this is. What is this exciting promotion? I have always been a major fan of Liam. I believe in everything he does. His books are absolutely incredible. He's such an amazing speaker. So first and foremost, thank you to everybody that's on this. Thank you to Liam to giving us this opportunity. And again, I'm going to wrap it up with just a couple quick things. I'm sure everybody at this point in time has questions about how much is it? How can I get this beautiful magazine in the hands of my clients, my prospects, my spheres? We'll real quick share some pricing with you. Again, for the 3 magazines, I promise it was less than the cost of a Hallmark card. We'll go back to that. Again, if you scan the QR code I have up right now, that'll give you a little bit more details there. But I do want to wrap it up here, if it's all right, with just sharing a little bit from my heart. Again, I am nothing but a fan of everybody that is taking the time over their Thanksgiving or over their holiday season to hop on this call. I want to do everything we possibly can to help you grow your business. So first and foremost, Bill, thank you so much for allowing us the time today to have the conversation. I know Bjorn and I'm sure Josh, you guys want to wrap it up with a comment here. But I just wanted to tell you, Liam, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Honestly, you've been one of my biggest supporters from day one. The stuff that you're doing with not only your education that you provide to these agents, but with just the goodness of the heart and everything that you do. I just wanted to tell you personally, thank you so much for always being in our corner, and we will do everything we can to do something really special to help your agents. So I showed a code. I just want to let you know, we are going to do a very special promotion. Normally when you come on board with Essential Engine. We have a $300 activation fee, sign up fee. Again, because you are going to have your own coach. They're going to work with you hand in hand every step of the way to make this turnkey. For you, Bill, here's what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and waive that sign up fee. Anybody that comes on board with us today through the Thanksgiving holiday, all the way up until, I was going to go until a kickoff of a game, but I'm going to do it till Monday because let's face it, everybody wants to do something for Black Friday and all that stuff. So I'll give you guys through the weekend. Anybody that comes on board with us until Monday morning, we're going to waive that sign up fee for you. And if you call me directly, I'm even going to give you something additional to that. So just make sure we get you started off and make sure you're omnipresent. So with that, I'm going to shut up. Thank you.
And I was glad you brought that up because I know you had a surprise for everybody, but I didn't. My mind doesn't work all that great, so I thought maybe you already mentioned it. But that being said, you notice I did wear eagle green today, just for you, and
I was going to wear my bucket shirt.
Actually,
I'll wear it on the next one, Bill. I promise.
People say, "Why do you like neon?" I say, "Because when I'm out, my wife can find me." It works out well. Where's the guy in the neon? But I'm gonna let Bjorn and let you say a little something before we wrap up, and then Josh as well, and then I'll close this all out. But Bjorn, thank you again. I know that you're traveling, and I'm in Colorado a lot. I love Red Rock. I'm in Denver quite a bit. We love it out there. Enjoy yourself. But tell us a little something, and it can be anything you want, and then we'll finish it up with Josh and me, and then we'll go.
Number one, I'll just start by saying thank you. I got the memo on the neon green today, so I'm happy I was able to do that. I'll just say this. I hope everyone has a great holiday. We talked about referrals today. We want to make you referable, right? We want to make it easy for you to get a referral and to have someone refer. And it's hard for someone to just hand someone a piece of sales material and say, "Hey, call this guy, call this gal." It's clearly a piece of sales material. One of the things that our products allow individuals to do is to hand off that magazine because it's not sales material. So it has real personal connections. Giving it to someone else that pass along is really important, and we'd love to bring all of your members on board.
Josh, I'm gonna let you say a little something to us. I know we pick on you about your hair loss, but it's just being fun. You're a great guy. I'm not too. My goodness. But look at Andrew.
I'm winning. First of all, I'm winning with this haircut.
And I always tell people in your situation, Josh, just turn around. Anyway.
Good idea. It's a great idea.
But go ahead. What do you have for us, Josh?
Well, I'd like to thank you, Liam, for having us on and giving me a hair critique. I do appreciate that. I'd like to thank your audience too for taking time to watch this. I think we can help you connect with your clients. We're about creating personal connections, and I think we can help you create those connections. One of the things that I think is worth checking out, if you scan the code that Andrew put up there, one of the things that's worth checking out, the Retiring Well magazine was built specifically for an audience of people who are approaching retirement, who are thinking about retirement, who are going there. And so this isn't something that's like we're trying to make it fit. Like, this thing was built exactly for that audience, and I think it can make real connections for you and that audience.
But one of the great things that I live by, and I told Andrew knows I live by, I tell people, my guys that come on board, we have a school program. It's $97 a month. And if you can't afford $97 a month for what you get in our school program, and Andrew, we're building a wall for the Essential Engine so people can go there and they'll have a lot of other things in there. But there's so much in that school program. But somebody asked me one time, "What do I get?" I said, "You get me." And when they get me, they get Andrew, they get Josh, they get Bjorn, they get George, they get all these people. And I said, and people thought that was kind of narcissistic. I said, no, it's not narcissistic. It's the truth. If you had to pay my coaching fee, it'd be a lot more than $97 a month. And so, but I tell people that I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. I'm all about what I do, right? But when I say low cost to no cost, that's why I like the magazine. That's why I like some people can't afford a lot of stuff, but they can be, and they can become a celebrity in their own hometown by just something that simple, right? It's as little as the cost of a Hallmark card, as you say. And I wouldn't have been very good on Prices Right. We already know that. But anyway, one thing I want to share about the magazine that we did do, Andrew, we told you we were going to do this. a lot of agents say, well, I'm big on doing, and your Medicare agents need to make sure they hear this. I'm huge on doing client appreciation dinners, right? I mean, you can tell everybody that, and it's we did it 6 times and we proved it. We do a thing on Memorygram, so I'll talk about that another day. But that allows us to get 100% of appointment setting, and you've seen the numbers. It actually happens. Now, I get people say, well, what if I don't have a clientele base? That's great. Then we did a show just like this, Bjorn, and I had all these agents on there, and I have my guy in Minnesota. I said, well, I want you guys to get on your phone and find out how many senior centers you have 55 and older, right? And they said, and the guy from Minnesota said, I probably only have 10. Well, I said, well, just go ahead and do it. So he did it. He had over 75. We found over 1,500 places. Now, I said, here's what you do. I said, you do what I do. You go down there and you don't call up and say, Andrew, can I come do a Medicare seminar? No, you say, Andrew, can I come and have a tour of your facility? Because all I do is work with seniors. I always give a sales idea. That's what I'm doing. Andrew knows exactly what I'm doing. So they go in there and they do that. Now here's where it fits with you guys. So now I walk around the facility. Someone's doing a Medicare seminar. Someone's doing a tax-free seminar. Well, how can I do that, ma'am? And she tells me, now, before I go in, now remember, there's no cost to that, Andrew. They'll get everything done for you. Now, I asked him, I said, can you do me a favor? Can you put my magazine, can I give you 30, 40, can you put it in every one of their mailbox 2 weeks before I come? That's how powerful essential engines can be for somebody that's going into a facility that doesn't know who you are. I guarantee you the other guy that's doing the seminar isn't doing the magazine like that. Yes?
Great idea. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And so, so I always try to, Andrew knows, I won't do a show without trying to give, you guys gave him a bunch of sales ideas, but I want them to, and you've made me look like more than I am. Well, God, if you're not humble, God will humiliate you. I'll tell you that right now. And I appreciate all the kind words, but I always want to give somebody something because you always want to have some value too, right? And everybody in this room's got value, and it's only because of the people we work with. Yes?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I appreciate everybody. Thanks for watching the Babe with Bucket Hour, and we will see you next time.